Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, Friday on Netflix. Where are you boys on this?
Deep breath. I'll be watching it like that. It's really sad. Mike Tyson was magnetic. Tunde and I were talking earlier. Remember the names of Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson in that era. They were two most famous people in the world, probably.
Yes.
And Mike's window, where he was knocking out the likes of Michael Spinks, and when I was there for the Calder Truth Williams fight, I'll never forget it. It was unreal.
Tyrell Biggs.
This is so long ago, right? He's nearly 60. I've spent the week with Lennox Lewis, and Lennox was asked his opinion, and he said, "Look, I don't like it. It's just." He was just everyone in the room when we were with were like, it's just that sort of feeling of why are we seeing this legend out there doing this? And Lennox was saying, I'll be there because my kids want to see Jake Paul. Right. So look, it's entertainment. The young like Jake Paul, what he's done, Logan, KSI, all of that, I get it. For me, so long as it's a sort of controlled exhibition almost, and both come out healthy and happy, I'm all right with it.
Where are you on this emergence of YouTuber boxing? Do you think Tunde is a trainer that will be looking at the next generation of fighters that might come through your gym as this sort of thing is a great signpost, it gives people more interest? Or do you just see YouTubers as commercial guys that are making a lot of money out of a new medium?
Well, there are YouTubers who can actually fight. There are YouTubers who are actually better than some of the stuff you see in You're Cool week in, week out. So it's not that. I think the money is the factor. It's prize fighting. So ultimately, people want to earn money. And if there's an opportunity to earn vast more money than you would make selling 100 tickets at You Cool, then people are going to do it.
Sure.
Sam.
It's like Tommy Fury. Okay, Tommy Fury may never make anything much in the boxing world. He might get to a certain level, but in the Misfits world, with KSI and all that, why not?
And I just
it's a business.
But going back to the Mike fight, we spoke about this on our show last night, and to me it was strange is how many fighters actually still feel Mike might do the job. Everyone's talking about the fact that the last thing a fighter loses is his punch. But I'm like, but what about his resistance?
And his legs.
What about when he gets punched? And so there's a lot. Me personally, I don't want to see Mike go out that, but as long as I believe it's scripted. I can't see why Mike...
Tunde, I sort of hope it is, right? Scott Welsh was telling me the other day, and he's younger than Mike Tyson. He keeps himself in very good shape still, but he said he did a little bit of sparring with young Tommy, his son, and he said he cracked ribs, and he said he didn't know where he was when he got hit by a shot. He said your body at that stage, however well you've looked after it, and we've got to remember there's been times where Mike hasn't looked after his body at all. So, okay, you can get yourself in terrific shape over a few months, but fighting shape at nearly 60.
Well, we saw what happened to Evander Holyfield when he tried to fight the MMA guy.
Yeah.
He got decapitated, literally. And listen, we watched the episodes on Netflix in the build-up to the fight. And, there's something within all of us that feel Mike can do this, what he's been through.
Because you sort of want that. You want the old Mike Tyson that you remembered from the history to sort of come back and give us one last great performance. Yeah. But it's a difficult one. It's one that everyone's going to watch, but I don't know what the best outcome is. I think it's...
Oh, I know what it is. I'd like to see Mike Tyson knock him on his arse. And put this nonsense to bed.
Yes.
That's what I'd like to see.
And then it's over for the kids, but the kids are loving it.
Is it? Is it ultimately?
The kids are loving it.
I get it. And that's why I was asking Tunde from the outset, is it going to manifest itself in a new generation of boxing and kids coming through that show the prerequisite amount of enthusiasm? I don't know. I'm just a purist about things, and maybe I'm a bit anal retentive about it, and thinking about the idea. I grew up. I went to see Tyson fight Frank Bruno in '89.
Yep.
I watched all his fights as a kid. And you look at that monster, obviously culminating in the defeat to Buster Douglas and everything that went after that, and his life took a turn that ultimately he will regret, no doubt.
But still thrilling, and still some great performances after that.
A phenomenal.
Winning the world title again after the jail sentence.
Absolutely. But to see him in the ring with the sole necessity surely is economic.
Of course.
And for Mike to be in a situation where he's had this amount of money, and he won't be the first, and I'm sure he won't be the last boxer that's gone through hundreds of millions of dollars and found himself in a situation where he has to put himself in a ring with somebody like Jake Paul, who to my mind is just a product of today's society rather than particularly a talented individual. And
he's worked hard at what he's done, and he's got the ring.
Right.
And you're right, one or two of them are probably better than some fighters, but they're earning a huge amount more money than the guys at York Hall, which is where the difficulties come. But I've got a question for you, right? So if you say Mike Tyson wins, that's what you want to see, Jake Paul ridded. What happens then if Mike Tyson calls out Lennox Lewis and then Evander Holyfield gets and suddenly you've got that? We don't want that.
I don't want to see a real life version of grudge match. No, I'm not interested in seeing Robert De Niro and Sylvester Stallone at 107 in a ring, replicated by Lennox Lewis.
No, but if Tyson wins, what does that?
Well, maybe it quenches the financial diet that he needs to have quenched. But look, one of the real fights, or the real fight on that evening, is Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. I mean, there is a school of thought that Katie is slowing down a little bit. I don't know where you guys are on that, but this is a great fight again, isn't it?
Yeah, I really got very close to Katie and followed her career ever since she was a top amateur, the best amateur, and what she's done for boxing as a whole, not just female boxing full stop, has been unbelievable. I was there after my illness. I went back to see her rematch with Chantel Cameron in Dublin. The place was unbelievable. I thought on the back of that she'd fight Chantel in a third fight at Croke Park. They couldn't make the finances work, so here she is getting huge money to fight on this bill, Netflix. It's a fabulous fight. The first time round was brilliant against Amanda Serrano. And I think the second one will be as good. I can't see anything else.
Oh, we're definitely in for a treat. I just feel both of the ladies are in the twilights of their career. And I feel because of that, it will make a great fight. Amanda is a big puncher. Katie did look like she was slowing down a bit. But it's just a great fight for women. And again, I saw a tweet from Amanda saying that, you know, they made close to $1 million in the first fight, and they've doubled that. They've blown out the water. So it's a good advert all round for women's boxing, and maybe we're equaling. I don't know if the minutes, the 2-minute rounds or the 3-minute rounds.
Well, I was going to ask you about that.
Yes.
As a trainer looking at this argument that rages about the 2-minute round to the 3-minute round, and the fact that there's a likelihood that in women's boxing that if you move from 2 to 3, you're going to see more knockouts. I think there was a debate about how Savannah Marshall might have done in the fight against Alicia Shields if there'd been 3-minute rounds rather than 2-minute rounds.
Yes.
Where are you on the principle of women's boxing morphing from 2 into 3?
Well, I don't believe that. I just believe it's hard to knock out anyone. And I spoke about this on Saturday. You know, people talk about more knockouts, but, you know, you look through careers, very few people have, you know, an 80% knockout ratio.
Sure.
So I don't believe that.
At that level.
At that level, you know, at that level, at any level. Go to York Hall, you see a lot of points fights. There's not many knockout punches, because to knock someone out is actually a difficult thing. It's not an easy thing, regardless of the level you're fighting at. So I don't personally think that it will make that much difference, whether it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
Most of the women I've spoken to want 3 minutes. And I'm not sure it's the equality thing. I think they just feel that would be better for them. But then there's the argument from the TV side that 10-2s always give us fantastic firefights. It's quick. It's difficult to judge each round, but it's fast, and they're almost always a terrific battle. If they're matched right, the women give us great fights, and I think this is another one.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? There's always this desire to have whatever you haven't got is the reasons why something isn't what you think it should be.
Yes.
And women's boxing at this moment in time is on a great trajectory. So the idea that it needs to change from 2 to 3-minute rounds to deal with an argument, I think probably leave it alone. If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it.